guys, so today we're going to do a little get ready with me. I'm just going to put on my makeup while we talk about intentions versus goal setting and a little bit of woo woo in the moon cycles, because it is actually a new moon phase tonight. I'm not going to go through the makeup that I'm applying. I'll just write it down in the description box because it's going to kind of take away from the flow of the chat of the video, and it's not really what this is about, although some of these products are like, I'm really feeling them. We're actually going to do a budget beauty month again for September, the same as we did last month. Oh, I need to put my hair up. So I'm going to tell you about some of these products then, because I am obsessed with kind of a peachy, goldeny look since my hair is lighter. Anyway, so I know this is not for everyone, this kind of woo-woo, moon, law of attraction, crystals-y type state of mind. I've always been kind of open to astrology and just that kind of thing. I was really into astrology as a teenager, super duper. I even had like a book of, I wish I could remember what it was called. It was like talismans, and effectively it was like a spell book. I loved it. So I've always kind of been open to this kind of thing anyway, but I've spoken a little bit about my experience with the law of attraction in the past, in that I have had weird things happen to me. I mean, I've had a million different coincidences in my life, and I choose to believe that they weren't just coincidences, and that certain things were kind of meant to be. This might not be for you, but that's the way that I like to look at it. I do find comfort in the idea that everything happens for a reason, and if you are struggling or going through a really tough time, I find it easier to believe that it wouldn't be happening to you if it wasn't supposed to be happening to you. And I know that that's kind of broad and difficult for some people because really terrible things have happened, but it's not dissimilar to any kind of faith. I don't have any other kind of faith. I'm not, I don't follow any kind of religion, but I do find it to be comforting to believe there's something bigger than myself and that there's a plan. Hey, me from the future, editing me. I realised as I was editing, I missed out a really, in my opinion, great law of attraction, strange, spooky story that happened to me like 2 weeks ago. I mentioned it on Instagram, but still, I wanted to talk about it here. This video is like 25 minutes long, so I'm not going to tag it on the end. I'm going to put it as an unlisted video. If you want to watch that, the link will be in the description bar. So if you want an extra strange story from me, that video will be linked below. But it won't be on my channel, it won't be anywhere else. It'll only be through that link. So yeah, just kind of popping in to tell you there is an extra little story of mine if you would like to hear it. So I'm going to kind of try and talk about this from two different paths. One will be a bit more mainstream and a little bit easy to digest for those of you that really struggle with that kind of thing. And then the other will be more of my new journey into the more mystical stuff that even I am kind of cynical about. So I've always been a goal setter. I've always been someone who would, at the beginning of the month, I will write down the goals that I've got for myself. So that could be absolutely anything. That could just be, I want to achieve X, Y, Z this month. I want to have done this by the end of the month. I want to earn this, or I want to get a job, or I want to whatever. They would be kind of my goals, and I would have, whether it be the month, the year, the week, I would have little things that I was always working towards in my mind. Now, a lot of those goals you really have no control over, and so they're more like wishes, really. It's not the same as, like, I want to run a 5K. You could have some more control over that, but a lot of the stuff that I was aiming towards was kind of more wish-based. And so then, when I did end up looking more into the law of attraction and that kind of belief system, it isn't a million miles away from that, because it is very wish-based. It's very, the difference being that they don't really call them wishes. You're supposed to believe that those things will happen to you and live in a moment where they already have. So, for example, if I, like right now, we're trying to sell our house, and rather than put the house on the market and immediately freak out and stress out and think, oh my God, I'm never gonna sell the house, this is terrible, blah, 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 blah. As I was putting the house on the market, I was in a state of mind of, this is gonna be easy, and we're definitely gonna sell the house, and it's gonna sell for the money that we want. It's gonna be really simple. I was like visualizing, I know, bear with me, myself in a new house. I was visualizing my parents settled somewhere else, having gone through just a really, really simple transition from the move. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm sleeping fine. It's not something I'm concerned about, because I just believe that it will happen. I believe that it will be fine, and that what happens is what's meant to happen, and it's out of my hands. It's also worth noting that I've always also been someone who can just accept the situation that I'm in and move forward. So if you are someone who constantly worries about something, let's say you're sitting in traffic and you're like, this is the worst, I'm gonna be late, and you just can't get out of that mindset, this might be trickier for you. But I have always been someone who sits there and I'm like, right, okay, the moment you accept something, let's say you're working late and you were trying to finish at 5 and you realise you're going to be here for at least another hour and a half, and you're stressed out every minute that you're working extra, you're stressed out because you knew you were supposed to finish at a certain time and you've got things to do. The moment you accept that you are there for as long as you are there, everything chills out, everything calms down, and it's just, everything's easier. And the worry is pointless. Worrying about something you can't control is completely pointless. I saw something the other day that said something like, worrying is like wishing for something that you don't want. It's just, you're constantly thinking of something that you have absolutely no control over, and it's not making the situation better. And so if you are in the opposite mindset, if you are someone who just worries all of the time, I can't express how important it is to try to get yourself out of that habit. It's difficult, I understand, and I've never had to really force myself out of it, so I can't really give you the perspective of, I did it and it was easy. But that would be my number one. Try to kind of move past the stuff that you can't change, because it is a pointless exercise to worry about something that is just the situation. You just kind of have to move on. So number one, accepting and kind of living in your current situation, but believing that everything could be better. Everything could be easier. It's possible. Sitting and thinking, I'm never going to get out of this situation, I'm never going to have this thing that I want, it's just not productive. It's not hurting anyone to believe that something could happen. It's not hurting anyone to be positive and to stay in a good frame of mind about the thing that you want. So I would always set goals, monthly goals, just kind of generally. And that was something that I did just because I thought that was a good way of like organizing myself and organizing my thoughts, my mind, and my month, and like what I wanted. And then I discovered the law of attraction kind of slowly, and I am a cynic. I'm a believer and a cynic all in one, because I will watch things and I think, no, that's too far. That's too far. I watched The Secret and it's cringe. It's difficult to watch. It very much is like, some people watch it and they're all in. That's not me. But things have happened to me where I've literally asked inadvertently for things and they have come to me. I've mentioned these in different videos, but I've written down certain figures that I needed to, like, for example, pay off a credit card recently. At the beginning of the year, I wrote down a number that I needed to pay off all of my debts, and I found that money where I shouldn't have found money as quickly as I did. It was a bit bizarre. I told the story of my Taco Bell t-shirt, which is completely inconsequential, but it is a funny story, and it is one of the ones that I like to tell. I always said that my memoir would be called How a T-Shirt Changed My Life, because I went to Taco Bell. It was the first 100 customers got a free t-shirt, and I was like, right, I'm gonna go, I'm on my own, I'm taking the kids to school, and then I'm just gonna go and stand and queue up outside Taco Bell, I'm gonna get this free t-shirt. And I said to my husband, I really want one that is significant to my age. I would like 86, which is when I was born, or 32, which is how old I was at the time. And I was sitting in the queue, or standing in the queue, surrounded by students, people who'd been up all night. It was like, I shouldn't have been there. I did not belong. I was the only one by myself. It was a really weird situation. And I was standing there for like over an hour, waiting for this store to open. And the people in front of me, I heard as we were moving, were trying to work out maybe what number shirt they would get. I heard them and I was thinking, oh wow, I could be really close to my number, but that, you know, surely not. And I got to the front of the queue and the guy held up a number 32 t-shirt, but he didn't give it to me straight away. He paused, he was talking to someone, and I was right there. He was right there, and I was thinking, if you give me this shirt, this is going to be so weird. So he gives me the 32 t-shirt. I went and ordered my food and I couldn't even sit in the restaurant. I was like, something strange. I felt like I was glowing, and I went and sat somewhere else and just sat there with a massive smile on my face, and I thought, this is a sign. This is a sign that something has kind of shifted. I understand why people don't believe in this kind of thing, but it really did provide me some comfort to believe that there was something else going on. It was a time when I really felt like I needed that. And in the same way that other beliefs, other faiths provide comfort in times of difficulty. I know this isn't a faith, but I'm trying to put it into a context that's a little bit more easy to understand for those of you that are like, no. It really did do that for me. So the ordering from the universe thing is you're supposed to write down the thing that you want, and you have to believe that you can get it. You have to visualize yourself with it. You have to be thankful for the thing that you've got, and then you will receive it. And it sounds nuts. It is nuts, but it's happened to me. It has happened to me. I have written things down that have been not unexpected. What's the word I'm looking for? They probably shouldn't have come true. Things that, not things that, you know this is probably going to happen anyway, write it down and then you can tick that. No, things that were kind of surprising, things that, I'm still really struggling for the word. Things that were not on the radar, not supposed to happen. And I've said, I really want this, and it's happened. It's really, really strange. And I'm really gearing up this year. Number one, because everything is out of my control. Absolutely everything is out of my control. In COVID, in this pandemic, I've really leaned into the belief that there is a larger picture. There is something else at play, because I have to believe in something. And I've always thought that 35, which is what I will be on my next birthday in February, was going to be my year. It was going to be like, this is the year for me. I don't know why 35. I don't know where I came up with that number, but since I was a teenager, I've never had any kind of weird meltdowns about getting older, because I knew 35 was coming, and 35 was going to be like a magic year. And as I approach, I mean, just the idea that 2020 was supposed to be this massive, exciting year for so many of us, me included. Everyone was like, this is going to be a transformative year, this is going to be amazing. And it was never really going to be my transformative year, because 35 is next year. And that, even in my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me that this year was terrible, because next year is just going to be amazing, because it's going to be this magic year. And so, because we're in the pandemic, because I'm leaning into this year that I've been thinking about for a long time, can it possibly live up to this hype? Probably not. I'm really kind of picking up speed and learning more about how other people do this, and now I'm learning a little bit about the moon cycles, crystals, yeah, and people's rituals. So I thought I would share, I know this is the longest video in the world, I thought I would share a general kind of idea of, this is the reason that I feel the way that I do about the law of attraction, and the fact that the whole thing of there has to be something bigger than me, and it doesn't hurt anyone to believe that things can happen. I thought I would just kind of quickly at the end of the video run down the difference between intentions and goals and how you can set them. So goals, obviously, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want this month, this is what I want today, this is what I want this year, whatever. So they're things that we're all familiar with. They're things that are fairly mainstream, that are not like woo-woo in any way. Intentions are a little bit different, and even if you don't believe in any of this stuff, this is still relevant. You could do kind of on a monthly basis, set some goals and intentions. So goals are things that you want to achieve. Intentions are more about how you're going to feel, how you're going to behave, what you're going to do in the meantime. And it's like little stepping stones towards the goals. So intentions are, let's say you wanted to find a partner. You would be moving through the world in a certain way that you would want to attract the person that you would want to attract. You would just generally be a nicer person, a happier person. You would be more open to people who were open to you. If someone was to come to you who you found physically attractive and you were like, okay, maybe we could talk, it's been a long time since I've done this kind of thing, you know, then your intention would be to be open to those situations, open to those interactions, open to people that you meet, and generally more, you'd be putting out what you want to receive. If you want to find a kind and loving and generous partner, then you would be kind and loving and generous in the world, and hopefully you would attract that back, because you would find yourself in situations where if you're there for those reasons, then those people will be there as well. Put yourselves in the communities where you're going to meet like-minded people. So that's kind of more intentions. Intentions would be, like your goal might be to run a 5K. Your intention would be to be healthy and to be running all of the time and to continue with your training or whatever it is that you do when you run a 5K. No idea. If my goal was to, I don't know, hit a certain number or something on YouTube, then my intention would be to consistently upload content that I would want to watch, consistently work on whatever it was for editing, or to respond to comments, or to be engaging, or whatever. Those would be the intentions. The intentions are basically what you can control towards your goal. You can't control whether or not you reach that goal or not, but you can control your intentions. And if you've always struggled with goals for the reason that you don't want it to be, you'll constantly feel like you're failing because you're not reaching the goals that you set for yourself, because some people set very lofty goals. Some people set like 5-year goals, and that really works for them. Intentions are a little bit different, and intentions can kind of lead you in a different direction. You might find that kind of halfway through a goal, you're like, do you know what? I'm actually quite enjoying this path that it's taking me, and you don't feel like you're failing because you're still moving on with your intentions. It's just generally a little bit of a kinder way, and a bit of a more kind of mindful in the moment way of having goals. Just knowing that all of the time, every day, you are working towards one thing, but you're actually being productive and you've got some control over your actions. So with the moon cycle, this is very, very new to me, and I just wanted to post this today for those of you who are kind of vaguely interested, because there is a new moon tonight. I have watched videos where people talk about their rituals. Now, I've never done this as yet. I did try like a full moon ritual. It was the week we were putting our house on the market. I thought, this can't hurt. I'm going to do all of the things. I kind of wrote down my visualization, like I imagined myself in the new house, and wrote all of these things down. So I'm going to just kind of run through what I have read that other people do. And then maybe this time next month, if you're interested, I will share what I actually did for the moon cycles, because I know this is a little bit out there, but I'm enjoying it. So various different ways to set yourself up, but people will kind of gather the different, what's the word I'm looking for? I said this in another video. I feel like I've got like lockdown brain, and the words won't come to me, and someone said it's a B12 deficiency. And then they sent me the various symptoms of B12 deficiency, and I was like, yeah, that's me. But it was things like, you know, tired all the time, stuff where anyone could be, but maybe that's it. Maybe I actually have a deficiency, and that's why I can't remember any of my words. So all of the energies, you know, like earth, wind and fire, that kind of thing. So they will, they might have like a window open, or I don't know what else would be wind. You'd probably only have a window open, or you'd be outside. They would have candle burning for fire, water. You might have kind of like a diffuser, that would be water. You might be in the bath. It could be anything, it could be raining. They gather all of the elements is the word I'm looking for. Gather all of the elements, and you write down for the new moon what you want. So these are your intentions / goals. Now, this is kind of all mystical, whatever. You do whatever you want to do, because it's not a science. I've read these things where people are like, and you have to do this, and you have to exactly say this. That makes no sense to me. I mean, does any of it? But that makes no sense to me. I can do the ritual of, I'll do all of these things, I'll sit down, I'll write down, this is what I want to have happen to me. And then I can sit and I can believe that those things have happened to me, and I can be grateful for those things that have happened to me. Those are the things that I can do. A lot of the other things peripherally, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but those are the things that make sense to me in my current headspace, state of mind. Write down the things that you want, believe that they've happened to you, and that kind of is the thing for the new moon. This is like what I want for the moon cycle. Imagine it's the beginning of a month. And then there are various things that you do through the phase of the moon to, supposed to like cleanse yourself of any kind of worries and doubts and like negativity. And then when you get to the full moon, there are various things that you can do. But I wanted to kind of talk more about intentions and goals because it is a new moon and this is the thing that people do. But if you are not into the woo-woo of it all, I strongly advise that you start doing this at the beginning of the month, because setting intentions and goals really has kept me on course. And especially right now when what is happening, it's really kind of giving me some focus and molding my time, helping me stay in a more positive frame of mind. When I look at the month and I go, right, this is what I wanted last month. What did I achieve? What didn't I achieve? What can I bring forward? What can I do next month? That is a really, really helpful tool for me. And even if all of the rest of it is like, nah, that is still an actual, tangible, productive thing that you can do with your time that I think will help. That, and just, if you can, please try not to worry about things that you can't change, things that you can't control, because it's just a completely pointless exercise. It won't help you at all. And I know it's difficult because I live with someone who does this. My husband is the biggest worrier in the world, and eventually I'm like, you're gonna have to just stop, because this hasn't happened. You're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet and may never happen. It's just not useful. So yeah, random one, super long, didn't really get to the point till the end, but that's me all over. If you'd like me to talk a little bit more about this kind of thing, then I will, in a more structured format. I thought that this would be a little bit easier to digest, for it to be kind of just a little bit of a chat while I'm doing my makeup. But as with other ones like this, I realised that I kind of ramble and can't quite get to my point while I'm doing the makeup, and in the end I'm like, so here's really what I think. But I do think that, because I've mentioned this a couple of times on vlogs and on Instagram, and people have said, oh, I didn't even know you were into that kind of thing. And I thought, I'm gonna just put something out there that is topical because of the phases right now. And maybe we'll have like a little mini community where every now and then I make a video and we'll kind of have a chat in the comments about what we do and how we feel. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bit of a random one. Hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I will see you guys on Friday with an empties, which is much more my speed.